Good evening, everyone. Fry's being a little whiny butt over here, so I'm not even putting him on camera. But it is March the 7th. We have almost made it to Friday. We just need to continue. No, 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 sir. You're not having a fight right now. So, I have found the world's oddest stories for you because, it seems like everything is going to be political news tonight. Welcome, Phoenix Fire and Eris. Good evening. I hope you got your little walk in, Eris. Our first story is human blood artist. That's a thing. I had your guess is as good as mine where he studied. The Vincent van Gogh, like, house of painting and body modification. I don't know. Is sentenced to probation in body parts trafficking case. Quote, collector of oddities, end quote. A self described human blood artist from Pennsylvania. Y'all, what am I reading here? From Pennsylvania has been sentenced to 2 years of probation in connection with peddling of body parts from Harvard University and an Arkansas mortuary. Jeremy Pauley, 42, was sentenced after pleading guilty on January 8th to abuse of a corpse, Fox 43 reported. In September 2023, he pled guilty separately in federal court to interstate transport of stolen property and conspiracy to interstate transport stolen property for buying and selling body parts. He was initially charged with abuse of a corpse, receiving stolen property, and dealing in the proceeds of unlawful activities. Welcome, Squaw Bob. Holly, who lives in Susquehanna County, was arrested in September 2022 after police said they found 5-gallon buckets containing body parts inside his then home in Enola. What in the, Tim Burton freaking Halloween insanity am I trying to understand? 5-gallon buckets of body part, what in the The self-described collector of oddities could have his 2 years of supervised probation changed to 1 year supervised, then 1 year unsupervised for good behavior, WGAL reported. How do you get off from grave robbing? I'm gonna need to understand how you get probation, like, "Look, gonna give you a slap on the wrist this time, but next time you try to get into necromancy, you're gonna be in trouble." The investigation of the heavily tattooed body modification artist began when police received a call about suspicious activity at the home on North Enola Road, Fox 43 reported. Authorities were tipped off that a suspect, later identified as Polly, was buying human body parts and selling them on Facebook. As you do. Oh my god, that would be a romance and no, no. This is like there is no Zool, there is only Dana. We cannot let these 2 meet. The oddball allegedly told investigators during an interview that he had 3 full human skeletons and about 15 to 20 skulls, according to the complaint cited by the outlet. Pauly claimed that the human remains were purchased legally according to authorities. How does one purchase legal human remains? I mean, I don't want an answer to that question, but holy God. I'm gonna need to know how one does this legally. He reportedly admitted to being part of a network of people who bought and sold body parts that had been stolen from Harvard Medical School and from an Arkansas mortuary between 2018 and 2022. 7 other people have been charged as part of the probe. Polly had posted pictures of bags and piles of femurs, vertebrae, clavicles, ribs, and human teeth for sale on his Facebook page, calling called the Grand Wonder Crammer. That can't be it. What in the actual heck? Good evening, cool gamer and HT welcome. Uh, quote, vendors of odd and unusual museum exhibits, guest lectures, live entertainment, and so much more. Strange, curious, and unique in every way possible. The page description read. I'm going to need everyone who shopped here on a registry. Police initially found what they described as older human remains that were determined to be lawfully obtained. But after a second tip about newer remains in Polly's home, investigators found additional purchases. They found assorted body parts, including two brains, human skin and fat, a heart, kidney, livers, lungs, a trachea, and a child's mandible with teeth. What is wrong with these people? Holy God Almighty. Look, your lordliness, I know you wouldn't send another flood, but maybe just a little drizzle here, because apparently we are up to no good. Holy goodness. Feder federal and Federal authorities later intercepted packages addressed to Polly from an Arkansas woman that allegedly contained body parts. How in the hell do you go to the post office and they have to ask you, like, "Is it perfume, battery, got lithium in it?" Yeah, well, now that I think about it, it never says body parts on that little thing I have to sign yes or no, is this hazardous or fragile? What in the name of all that is holy? In another, I never had this on my bingo card. 2024 is going full tilt. It is on Spinal Tap 11 with the cray cray. Mike Tyson, 57, is facing Jake Paul, 27, in a stunning boxing match streaming on Netflix. That's right, you guys. Uh, Mike Tyson and what's his face will be fighting. It'll be a great thing, I'm sure. Oh, Squaw Bob. I'm glad I read that before I put it up because I was like, what's missing in it? Reading is fundamental. Okay, yes, I'm getting someone to take you out. Yes, I know. Terrible. So, good lord. Tyson is going to square off against YouTuber turned boxing rabble-rouser Jake Paul on July 20th at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, in an event that will air live on Netflix, the streaming giant announced Thursday morning. The fight ostensibly will be an exhibition, though the specifics are not clear. Tyson, the legendary former heavyweight champion, who will be 58 at the time of the fight, hasn't had an official boxing match since June 11th, 2005, when he lost to Kevin McBride. He did face Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition bout on November 28th, 2020, in Los Angeles, on a card that featured Paul viciously knocking out former Knicks guard Nate Robinson in the second round. Quote, "He's grown significantly as a boxer over the years, so it will be a lot of fun to see what the will and ambition of the kid can do with the experience and aptitude of the GOAT," Tyson said of Paul in a statement. "It's a full circle moment that will be beyond thrilling to watch, as I started him on his boxing journey on the undercard of my fight with Roy Jones, and now I'm planning to finish him." Yeah. Yeah, um, wear earmuffs. The provocative Paul, 27, has drawn more attention to boxing in recent years, as he has had a handful of fights against former MMA stars like Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, Tyrone Woodley twice, and Ben Askren. When he first faced a pro boxer in Tommy Fury, the brother of Tyson Fury, Paul suffered his first loss. Quote, "My sights were set on becoming a world champion, and now I have a chance to prove myself against the greatest heavyweight champion ever, the baddest man on the planet, and the most dangerous boxer of all time," Paul said in a statement. "This will be a fight of a lifetime." So there you go. If you want to see uh, I can never keep the Paul brothers right. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight each other on Netflix in July. There you go. In weird news, an ex-con turned NYC criminal justice activist busted after head of a prison rival found in a freezer of the apartment he left in a blonde wig. Good God, these headlines today. Like "What am I reading, and what part of clown world do I live in?" A criminal justice activist is facing murder charges after cops found a dismembered body inside a Bronx apartment with the accused killer caught on surveillance video disguised in a blonde wig at the scene of the crime, according to witnesses and police. A Sheldon Johnson, a 48-year-old staffer for the public law firm Queen's Defenders, was let out of the 45th Precinct Station House in handcuffs Thursday and is awaiting arraignment after police made the grisly discovery: a human torso in a blue bin and a head stashed in the freezer of the sixth floor apartment, police said. Johnson, an ex-con who turned his life around to become a well-known victims advocate, was featured in Joe Rogan's podcast and rubbed elbows with MVPs like Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Sources said the victim in this week's slaying, identified as 44-year-old Colin Small, may have had a beef with Johnson while they were both doing time in Sing Sing prison in Winchester County. Well, it works. I guess we're gonna bring Joe Rogan into this. Neighbors told cops the victim was heard desperately pleading with his unaliver shortly before two shots rang out in the apartment near Ogden Avenue and West 162nd Street shortly after 8 p.m. Tuesday, sources and neighbors said. "Please don't," the doomed man was heard saying, "I have a family." Investigators were first called to the building for a wellness check after shots were heard in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood reported seeing a stranger coming and going from the apartment with cleaning supplies, the building superintendent said. "I said, 'Listen, I want to do a welfare check on a tenant because the person who is coming in and out is not the tenant," the super said, who asked to not be identified on Wednesday. It is the, day of the ferals for Feral and myself. "Fry, don't you mess with my hat, you dingus." Fry is like, "But it is my hat now." He said Johnson carried a blue bin into the apartment at 2 a.m. and never brought it back out. Let's see here. Oh, what in the travesty of all wigs is that? He didn't even cut the lace off the front. "Sir, I'm gonna need you to not try to look like What is going on here? Oh, that's a terrible wig, sir. He brought the bin in, I told them. So why is he bringing the bin in at 2 o'clock in the morning? He's bringing in a bin so late, the super said. We tried to see if he took out the bin. He never took out the bin. And I told them, look for a bin. Sure enough, it was there. The super also saw the suspect leaving the victim's blue Audi and returning in an Uber wearing a blonde wig. Stop. No, no, no hat. Dingus. It destroyed my hat and covered it in dog slobber. What is sir, don't do it, Fry. Uh, he is coming in, he's dressed differently, he's changing his character, and he said I said, "That's not normal, he's hiding something." So, I guess this is the gentleman in the, um or no, this is a neighbor of the gentleman, for the love of all that is holy. He said the police made the initial check of the apartment but left without busting the suspect. The guy stood there, the super said. They took him out and everything. They looked in the apartment but didn't find anything. They apologized and someone called and they and said they have to come here. He said Johnson then asked to speak with him. I went back to the house and a neighbor called and said, "The guy is here looking for me. He wants to talk to me," he said. I said, "I'm gonna go to him. I'm gonna ask him what he wants, then tell the police what he tells me." That was the plan. Before the meeting took place, the police were back and took Johnson in for questioning. If I'd gone, you never know what he was gonna do, the super said. He was going to frame me or shoot me or offer me something to get rid of the cameras or something. Tenant Jose Marquez told the Post he saw Johnson walking a small dog days before the murder. It feels like the devil just crawled through here last night, Marquez said. The neighbor described him as quiet and a loner. Sometimes we get fooled with the appearance. Well dressed, looks clean, Marquez said. You were assuming this guy has a professional career, went to work, came back, walked the dog, continued with his personal life. Johnson started working as a client advocate at the public defender's office in Queens sometime after being released from prison in 2019 after serving 20 years for a series of armed robberies in 2019 or 2099. No, 199. For the love of all that is holy, reading is fundamental. Thank you guys. Thank you, MLS Raiders. All right, you're back to being cute and not a butt. In an interview on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Johnson, who claimed he used to be a member of the Bloods gang, told host Josh Dubin he was arrested and sentenced to the maximum of 50 years for using a gun to rob several men who owed him money for drugs. But after spending some time in and out of solitary confinement, the convicted felon said he decided to, quote, turn his life around and got his GED while in prison. Johnson said he also took courses on deep breathing and conflict resolution while in the slammer. The Queen's Defender's Office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Well, it doesn't seem like he got that nonviolent resolution thing if he done hacked someone up, but that's just me. In what in the Walmart am I looking at here? A rare red panda among 87 animals seized from smugglers in a Thai airport. Bangkok, Thai customs officials have arrested 6 Indians for attempting to smuggle a red panda and 86 other animals out of the kingdom, including snakes, parrots, and monitor lizards. Who is trying to bring a daggone monitor lizard out of the wild? What is wrong with you people? And a red panda? Like, there are super de duper cute versions of, trash pandas, but we don't need them. Oh, Fry, once you stop, um let's see. The illicit menagerie was discovered hidden in the suspects' checked luggage at Bangkok airport as they tried to fly to Mumbai. Thailand is a major transit hub for smugglers in the illicit wildlife trafficking trade, who often sell the animals in China and Vietnam, though recent years have seen an uptick in trafficking to India. Quote, we found out that the animals include 29 black throat monitor lizards, 21 snakes, 15 birds, including parrots, a total of 87 animals. The animals were hidden inside the luggage, the Customs Department said in a statement. Well, I mean, that looks like he was hidden inside a basket covered in duct tape. Photos released by the department showed a red panda, an endangered species, picking out of a wicker basket, and a parrot shut in a plastic container with air holes crudely drilled into the lid. More plastic tubs held lizards, while snakes were seen coiled together in cloth bags. The suspect faces a maximum of 10 years in jail or 4 times the amount of the import duties. Last month, a Mongolian man was arrested at the same airport for trying to smuggle Komodo dragons. What? I know. I love it. It's so cute. But Komodo dragons, not kimono. Friberto, are you trying to eat my you are just testing everything, aren't you? You're like, "Well, if I can't eat the hat, I is going to eat the water bottle." Pythons and 2 dozen live fish out of the kingdom. No. Fry. No. No. Don't go full French. Yes. No, it wasn't an adult lightsaber. Let's see. The trafficking of wildlife has flourished into the fourth biggest illicit trade on the planet, worth an estimated of 100 to 150 billion per year. Decades of charity-driven conservation efforts have largely failed to curb the trade, which experts say is linked to virtually every other facet of the global organized crime, from weapons and narcotics smuggling to terrorism. So we can't have cute red pandas because, if we do, then bad stuff happens. Right. One of these days, you're gonna stay in what in the Walmart was she thinking? A wedding guest upstages bride with risque nude dress main character syndrome. What in the Walmart is this bit of tackiness? Like, look, I love all things tacky, but what in the Schnell is this? This looks like someone vaguely glued something onto a nylon stocking, and they just went to the Hobby Lobby flower department and just glued some stuff on. This is terrible. Welcome, Jessica Lynn. Thank you for joining. I have no idea. Welcome, Fedorowski. Yeah, what in the actual Walmart? I was making your Halloween costume, Nicholas, and she done stole it. How dare she? Your ice dancing costume. Okay. This gaudy guest made a case for wedding dress codes. A bride was outshined on her big day by a wedding guest who was supposed to make her the main attraction for her beach destination wedding. An anonymous Why is that always an anonymous Reddit user shared a photo of the alleged bride along with a loudly dressed guest in the subgroup r slash wedding shaming. The dress in question was adorned with pastel and jeweled toned flower appliques in various sizes affixed to nude hued fabric, giving the appearance of the tattooed attendee was wearing nothing at all. At first glance, she looked nude, a Reddit user chuckled underneath the post. Luckily, the large, vibrant flowers and pearls attached to the dress covered up her bits and pieces, if you will. But it was so distracting that guests' eyes gravitated to her flock and cleavage instead of the bride. Oh, I'm guessing it said frock, not flock. Copy editor, freaking New York Post. The makeup artist took creative approach to the wedding dress code since it was a destination wedding. She incorporated a tropical floral theme into her dress. Although she didn't break any wedding color rules such as wearing white or cream, she did receive some angry remarks from her peers. Quote, main character syndrome on full display right here, a Redditor wrote. I'm somewhat impressed it covers all the bits you need to cover, someone commented, but at the same time, it's just terrible, absolute trash. I've got really bad secondhand embarrassment, commented another reader. I'm relieved it's a dress though, because I was trying to see the dress through all the weird flower emojis, and I kept thinking there's no way that fabric is covering her chest area, one person shared. "No, that's an arts and craft projects that should have never made it out in public," wrote a disgruntled user. To avoid a wedding guest from stealing the show, many brides require attendees to follow a dress code for the big event, which often gets slack. Previously reported to the Post, Samantha Twist gave her guests strict rules and color concepts to follow for her wedding day. Quote, I got so much crap. One of my aunts even told me I care so much about what she wears, she's just not going to show up, Twist shared in a video post online. But everyone basically thought I was the devil for asking them to wear near neutrals, although I think most people have gray, beige, or navy blue in their wardrobe, she added. Good. That is just I think I might have a second Halloween costume is all I'm saying. In this face and this headline go together like no other. A man booby-trapped home, bringing it to go kablooey with a cell phone trigger when cops tried to seize his force multipliers following a DUI arrest. A 46-year-old man in California has been arrested after going on a crime spree that included causing two drunken driving crashes with a loaded force multiplier in the car and a long style force multiplier in his trunk, then booby trapping his home, rigging the house to explode via a cell phone trigger. I I not even on my bingo card. Marcus Beck was taken into custody last week when charged with driving under the influence, hit and run, and illegal storage of firearms, authorities announced. According to the press release from the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office, officers with the Gilroy Police Department at about 4:24 a.m. on February 28th responded to reports of a hit and run crash in the area of Mantilini Drive and Wren Avenue, about 80 miles southeast of San Francisco. When first responders arrived at the scene, it appeared that the driver had crashed into numerous parked cars before fleeing. A short while later, officers responded to another location near the initial crash site, where another car had been sideswiped by a man driving a BMW. Police said that the witness at the scene led them to the BMW that allegedly caused the crash. Officers approached the vehicle and found the suspect, later identified as Beck, sitting in the driver's seat with a loaded force multiplier at his feet. Beck was placed under arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence. Officers conducted a search of his vehicle and recovered loaded AR 15 style force multipliers in the trunk. This release states police state that the drunken driving incident was the second time they'd encountered Beck in less than a week. According to a report from the San Jose NBC affiliate KNTV, Beck had walked into Luigi Aprea Elementary School without authorization and demanded to speak with a female he believed worked in the building 2 days before his arrest. School staffers told Beck that he had to leave the campus immediately, but he allegedly continued to loiter on and around the school property until administrators were forced to call the police, who directed Beck to stay away from the elementary school. Hello, Mimsy. Due to both incidents happening in such proximity, police obtained a gun violence restraining order and responded to his home later in the day to temporarily seize all firearms and ammunition in his possession. However, upon arriving at Beck's home, the officers suddenly became nauseated by the smell of gas. The oven um, the oven unlit burners were on high, the prosecutor said. Firefighters turned off the gas, and investigators found numerous cell phones strewn about the house in a possible attempt to remotely ignite a fire. Authorities said Begg had also plugged the chimneys and fireplace in the home in addition to the gas and phones. Quote, I am so thankful that the Gilroy police stopped this incredibly dangerous behavior before anyone was badly hurt or killed, District Attorney Jeff Rawson said in a statement. We will hold this defendant accountable for the damage and dangerous behavior. The Gilroy community is shaken, and we're here to help. Beck is being held at Elmwood's Men's Jail without bond. He is scheduled to appear in court for a plea hearing on April 10th. You know, there were a couple bad choices here made, and instead of correcting them at any time, you decide, "Nah, I'm just gonna keep rolling." I hadn't even seen this story, but I had to change it. Quote, I woke up with a sharp pain in my private area. Man to sue Las Vegas hotel after he is stung by a scorpion in the bulbs while in bed. I will now never go to Las Vegas. If it's not bed bugs and wondering what kind of crazy weekend the people had the night before, in your hotel room and wanting to take a blue light to it, it's scorpions in your shorts. A California man had an unwelcome visitor in his bed during a stay at a luxury Las Vegas hotel. Quote, I woke up with a sharp pain in my giblets. Michael Ferracci, 61, told Los Angeles ABC affiliate KABC. Didn't know what it was, reached my hand to see what was happening under the covers and got another sharp pain. The jokes just write themselves, and it's mean to make fun of this man who got stung in the giblets. Faraci told NBC affiliate or CBS affiliate KLAS that it felt like someone was stabbing him with a piece of glass or knife. He ran to the restroom undressed to see an orange scorpion hanging on to his Reebok boxers. Faraci said the not very nice scorpion stung him at least 3 to 4 times. Do you think that room service gives ice packs? It happened at the Venetian on December 26. Now Faraci is planning to file a lawsuit against the hotel. Quote, no one staying in Las Vegas needs to be exposed to deadly scorpions while they're sleeping, let alone on their giblets, their private parts and their testicles, said his attorney, Brian Virag, who is known for suing hotel and apartment complex owners with bedbug infestations. In an interview to KABC, Vireg said in an interview with the Daily Beast that hotel staffers, quote, were very dismissive and unapologetic. Look, your lawyerliness. I'm sure they were just trying to stop giggling. And then they would be totally sympathetic. Fry is by the door because he's mad at me. He's like, "You are mean." Oh, MLS, you're missing a man that is suing the Venetian in Las Vegas because he got stung in the giblets by a scorpion in bed. So apparently they did not descorpion the bed in between people and, well, everything was hurt. Uh, though they com though they comped the room for the night, Faraci and his family checked out of the hotel the next day. Virag told Law and Crime that he will file a lawsuit soon. Meanwhile, he said Faraci is still traumatized and experiencing symptoms months after the fact. According to the Mayo Clinic, scorpion stings are painful but rarely life-threatening. Bark scorpions, typically between 1.6 and 3 inches, can cause pain, tingling, and numbness at the sting site, the Seattle Children's Hospital reports. The hotel released the following statement to media outlets. Quote, "The resort has protocols for all instances or incidents, and we can confirm they were followed in this incident." Well, there you go. It was a prophetic warning. He didn't heed it. A wayward 450-pound pig named Kevin Bacon hams it up for home security camera. In Hollywood, actor Kevin Bacon is a big star. In Wisconsin's Kenosha, it would be flippin' Kenosha. Can anything normal come out of Kenosha County? Just asking for a friend at this point. In Wisconsin's Kenosha County, Kevin Bacon is one big pig. The 450-pound porker walked away from his pen last week, then moseyed on down the road where he was caught hamming it up on the Mulgard family's security camera. Quote, "My wife spotted an unusual shaped figure on our driveway camera walking up our garage," Jake said Wednesday, adding that the bulky stranger, quote, "ended up coming right to our back door." Well, what do you do when a large four-legged neighbor visits your home on a Friday night? My wife started feeding him right away. Because of course she did. Look, I would start feeding him too, to be honest, to be like, "Look, we have to clean out this refrigerator. Bring on the leftovers. Unleash all of the, Blue Bonnet and Country Crock, containers and see what we have." Uh, said Jake, a local business owner. "That's what she does with every animal that comes into our backyard." After the couple watched Kevin scarf down some apples, rice cakes, tomatoes, carrots, Jake said it was time for them to figure out to whom their new friend belonged. Jake lives in Brighton, about 38 miles or 61 kilometers south of Milwaukee, and is not a farmer, but there are farms nearby. He called a farmer friend who not only knew the pig's owner, but had his phone number. The owner was out of town, but said he would appreciate if the family could lure the big pig back to his pen. And oh yeah, he added, Kevin is partial to cookies, marshmallows, and other sweets. I mean, this Kevin Bacon seems like an animal after my own heart. Look, just feed me carbs and I will go anywhere. In a follow-up to a story that we did last week, a quote unquote meth lab Oompa Loompa character or actress at the Fire Festival-esque Willy Wonka experience is now selling $35 cameos. She turned a fiasco into a golden ticket to online fame. The quote unquote meth lab Oompa Loompa actress who went viral during Scotland's quote unquote embarrassing Willy Wonka experience might have the last laugh. After being lampooned mercilessly online, the entertainer has managed to cash in on the fraudulent event by joining Cameo. Quote, come get your own personalized videos with the famous Wedgie Oompa Loompa, teases the woman, named Christy Patterson, 30 years old, in a effacing caption to her profile on the celebrity video platform where she's posted half a dozen clips so far. She reportedly created the profile in response to a request from a model and TV personality, Chrissy Teigen. Quote, "Someone get the Wonka meth lab girl on Cameo immediately while it's still hot," Tegan wrote in a recent Instagram story, Gizmodo reported. "I need a cameo." Needless to say, Patterson put people's money where her mouth is. She charges $35 for a personalized video, which she claims she can turn around in 24 hours. Best of all, delivers them while gussied up in the now infamous emerald wig and maid outfit she wore during the disastrous event. Hello, Annie. I can completely sympathize with you working in a complete and utter mess, declares the Oompa Loompa cosplayer in what's one such custom clip to an apparent fan. This perhaps uh, this is perhaps welcome reparations for Patterson's disastrous gig at the shambolic Willy Wonka's chocolate experience 2 weekends ago in Glasgow. She does. She does look like a certain Breaking Bad Oompa Loompa. The AI generated tickets for the events, which cost $45 a person, promised a paradise filled with, quote, "sweet treats," only to reduce children to tears with an empty warehouse, a sad bouncy castle, and virtually no candy, like a fire festival of fudge. Patterson was specifically tasked with passing out jelly beans to kids while working at a science lab, a gig that quickly went south after she ran out of goodies. Photos of the green-haired gobstopper maker looking gloomy and subsequently went viral as online trolls compared her to a worker at a method acting lab. Quote, "The whole thing's just been a complete and utter shambles. It was shocking, honestly," lamented the Scot, who claimed she was not properly briefed before the event, The Independent reported. "I was angry at the time because I felt like this was a bit embarrassing for me, and I felt really bad for the people coming in as well." Patterson, who eventually ended up walking off the scene, also lashed out at the event organizer, Billy Cowell, adding, quote, "I actually ended up shouting at the guy. I just said to him, 'He's a joke, and this is, like, embarrassing. How can he basically live with himself doing this to these people?'" The event organizers subsequently offered refunds to 850 people, which will reportedly be handed out this week. However, many entertainers, including Patterson, reportedly have yet to be compensated for their humiliating gigs. Here's hoping her cameo stint can help her mitigate the damage. There you are. In, again, money to charity or your dog has a $2,500 wardrobe. I'm Maybe it's really cute. Dog influencer travels the world at luxurious five-star hotels in $2,500 wardrobe. A 3-year-old Chihuahua is living the good life as his owner packs his suitcase and takes him across the globe. Bao, who lives in Toronto with his owner Exting Non Tran, has been to Paris, France, Mexico, and Alberta in the last 2 years, staying at five-star hotels along the way. Tran is a 37-year-old finance worker. She said she got Bao during the COVID pandemic, but the pair didn't start traveling together until 2022. Quote, "I never wanted to travel without him because he's my baby boy," she told SWNS, a British news service. The 6-pound dog's first trip was on a 4-hour flight to Lake Louise, Alberta. Since then, the dog and his owner have made it across the pond. In Paris, the duo stayed at the Hotel Louvre Saint Henri and dined at the iconic Café des Fleurs, while also making a stop at the Eiffel Tower. Another thing about Bao is that he doesn't travel lightly. Oh my Bob. It's Franck. It's Franck from Father of the Bride as a dog. Oh my goodness gracious. And this is no, this has to be ridiculous. This can't be. I am Tran said Bao has a 75-piece wardrobe worth $2,500, including items such as a Chanel silk scarf, sparkly jackets, turtleneck sweaters. Quote, "Since he was a puppy, I like to match his clothes to my neutral aesthetic with trench coats and denim, but Bao is partial to a Hawaiian shirt when on holiday." No, 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 this is a dog. He is still a no, what are we oh my gosh, no. What is wrong with people? She also noted there are additional costs when bringing a pet on trip, but she said it's more than worth it. At home, Bao eats like a king as well, with nutritious raw food diet, including homemade bone broth to promote joint health. Getting Bao was the best decision. He's like my perfect match, Tran told Fox News Digital. I think so. Good God. 3 years ago, Tran started an Instagram account for Bao, sharing his, quote, "sassy personality and trend-setting outfits." This is just terrible. Why are you this is a boy dog. Why does she have him dressed up in a fluffy this is this is mean. What in the actual hell am I looking at, people? Since then, Bao has gained over 166,000 followers and even includes outfit links in his profiles. Turan said Bao loves the camera, uh, and she loves his connection with his thousands of followers. As for her future, Tran told Fox News Digital that she and Bao plan to visit Beverly Hills for a real life Beverly Hills Chihuahua moment. I can't, people. That's it. I can't. We would also like to go back to Europe to visit Italy, and we'll go back to Mexico because we loved it so much. On his Facebook page, Bao tells others, "I love to dress up, travel, and dine at pet friendly restaurants." You know, eh, you seem like you have a lot of love to give. Have you considered maybe having a child too? I'm just throwing this out there. Although that's a really cute suitcase. In our final story, the longest, distance tug of war spans 1,694 feet in Wales. Wales just comes up with all sorts of fun things to do. A total of 100 people gathered in Wales to play the longest distance game of tug of war, which spanned 1,694 feet. Foundation Clwyd Sirgar, the Wales Young Farmers Club, and Pembrey Country Park teamed up with the park's Sien Fit Sien. Look, It's Welsh, I don't know. Beach to pull on opposite length or ends of the lengthy rope. Teams of 50 people each were captained by Welsh rugby legends Scott Quinnell and Eleanor Snowsill. Snowsill's team ended up winning, which earns a Guinness World Record for the longest distance game of tug of war. So there you are. We can see. Holy God, how long? That's what our species did when we didn't have cable. I'm telling you. Now that we do have to, this is insanity. Anywho, that is nightly newsy news for tonight. I am redirecting you guys over to Shizzy. I will be taking Fry out for his last Fry, break, and then I'll be heading over with Shizzy to watch some of the State of the Union. It's going to be fun. We are probably going to get off topic as per usual, but, it's all that sort of fun and everything else. So, I hope you've had a wonderful day, and, I will look for other crazy news tomorrow morning because March is coming in hot, I can tell you what. Anywho, have a lovely evening, you guys. Say something nice to yourself, say something nice to someone else. If you liked, if you'll please just push the little thumbs up and do all the YouTubey things, that would be wonderfully awesome. If not, I'm not gonna follow behind you and make you do it by yourself. Anywho, have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.